Hi, welcome to SolidDiskNewbie.com. Today we're going to talk about stock prep. We'll be preparing this piece of maple ready for use. So with this piece we've got a few challenges here because we've got some rough edges on it, but we can work around that. First off, the idea is we want to get this most number out as possible. So we're going to draw a line here. We're going to cut off this right here. Just use this piece that's fairly straight. I'm going to actually angle in just a little bit, just like try to maximize the number here. I'm going to strike a line. The next thing I'm going to do on both sides of the piece, I'm going to create some witness lines here. On both sides, I'm going to make those witness lines as well. The bandsaw is the safest way to cut this because there's no good straight edge on either end. So we're going to go ahead and cut this on the bandsaw.
Coming off the bandsaw, since I did not use the fence, there's some rough edges and some high and low points. Since that's going to be kind of wobbly on the joiner bed, I'm going to use my jack plane to knock those down so it's a fairly straight cut. I'll still even this out on the joiner.
I want to find out what side is most stable, and just by turning around, I can feel that the bottom of this is pretty flat. If I flip this around, this is pretty flat too, but there is some movement, so I'm going to start with this side down. I will be using push marks as I push through. I'll only be putting down enough pressure to bring this through. I don't want to put down too much pressure because any cupping or bowing, I could actually reintroduce back into the board and make it worse. So my goal here as a joiner is to erase these pencil marks that I made. It might take 2 or 3 passes to do it, I might just take one. So I get started. This side is ready to go through the planer. I went ahead and made a second pass even though the first pass had erased all the lines because there was just some spots that didn't look right, but this time it does look good. Now I also drew some pencil marks on my edge here. The side that I just flattened, I can now push this against the fence of the joiner and get myself a 90-degree edge here. And now we have a smooth edge we can work for. On to the planer. Here at the planer, we're going to now get 2 parallel sides. This is the side that we ran through the joiner. You can still see the pencil marks from the other side. And the first goal is going to be to erase these pencil marks with the planer. And once that's done, each pass through will flip the board back and forth. Before I can get started, I need to get this down to a height that I can get it going. And there is a gauge here that can let me know when I'm just barely touching it. I just want to have barely touching the vert for the first pass. There we go. So lock this down. Hearing protection on, because this thing is loud. So I realized the camera cut out midstream and you got none of me actually running the planer. But I went through one pass, cleared off the pencil marks, And then I started flipping this back and forth. Now we're ready to go to the table saw so we can get a good smooth edge on this side and cut away some of this bad stuff here. So using my tape measure, I figured out I could probably get at most about a 4¼ inch width board. This is the side that I jointed on. This is the side I'll have against the fence. With that said, I'm going to fit the fence and set it to 4¼ inch. These push blocks are great, but always make sure you're going to get through it and there's not going to be any problem here. If it's going to overlap, you want to set this middle piece. We're not going to need to do that for this cut. So dust collection, and then we're going to go ahead and make the cut. Now we're going to square up the edges. We're going to cut away the piece that we know we're not going to be able to use. And we're going to move the fence out of the way. Before I make my cut for this piece, I'm going to square up this side. And because I want to use this same length against the fence, I'm going to flip it over this way to make my cut. I'm going to flip it back over this way to cut away my line. Dust collection. Is ready for use. Thank you for watching.